You're backed by arguably one of the greatest of all time, right?
What are we rating ourselves on? What are we rating on?
Okay.
Well, we're gonna know in the least amount of fights. You know, I didn't have to have 70 fights or 150 fights, 300 fights. Did I not beat the most world champions?
Yes, you did.
Okay. And in the least amount of fights?
Yes, you did.
Who got the highest gate?
Floyd Mayweather.
Who made the most money?
You did.
Who was the most accurate fighter of all time?
You were.
So it's basically saying that...
The greatest of all time.
Okay.
All right.
When Terence "Bud" Crawford said, "I'd stop Floyd easier than I stopped Spence," everyone lost their minds, but no one more than Floyd Mayweather himself.
Who do you think wins in a fight, you or Prime Floyd?
Me.
No questions?
Why would you think that I would say Floyd? You know, that's one of my favorite fighters. But yeah, nah.
Within hours, Floyd's reaction hit social media. Slick, subtle, and as cold as ever. But behind the polished words and poker face, insiders say Floyd's furious. Because for the first time in years, someone didn't just compare themselves to him. They claimed they'd beat him. And not just beat him, stop him. So yeah, Floyd heard Crawford loud and clear, and his response, it wasn't just about ego. It was about legacy, pride, and the uncomfortable truth that the game he once ruled might now belong to someone else. Let's break it down. The clip that started it all aired on a popular boxing podcast just 2 nights ago. Terence Crawford, fresh off his historic win over Canelo Alvarez, was asked one of those hypothetical questions fighters usually dodge. If you and Floyd were both in your prime, the host said, how would that fight go? Crawford leaned back, cracked a grin, and dropped the quote that broke boxing Twitter in half. I'd stop Floyd easier than I stopped Errol Spence. He's great, but I'm greater. That one sentence went nuclear. Within minutes, hashtags like #Crawford vs Floyd and #GOAT debate were trending worldwide.
Yo, yeah, so if he was pound for pound, Floyd was pound for pound. You or Floyd, who would have done that? Who would have won that?
Me.
Oh, shit, okay, I'm just asking.
Man.
Because Floyd was pound for pound before.
That would have been a hard fucking fight, though.
Man, me versus anybody, I'm going to always say me.
Okay.
Come on now.
But what really shook things wasn't just Crawford's confidence. It was how real it sounded. Because if you look at his career, if you watch how he dismantled Errol Spence, how he neutralized Canelo Alvarez, Crawford's not delusional, he's calculated. And Floyd, he knows that.
You could take a guy like Canelo, this guy could do, he can pick and choose who he want to fight. And I'm going to tell y'all the truth about Canelo. Easy, man. Cakewalk, easy. Y'all sitting up here, y'all praising this dude. This dude was nothing. I was almost 40 years old when I cooked this dude. Easy. Y'all always disrespecting our fighters.
Live, only on DAZN, June 28th. Jake Paul versus Chavez Jr. Buy now at DAZN.com/boxing.
See, here's the thing. Floyd Mayweather spent his entire post-retirement era trying to control the conversation. Every exhibition, every interview, every headline, all designed to keep the focus on him. But in 2025, that grip's slipping. Because while Floyd's fighting Mike Tyson in what's basically a nostalgia act, Crawford's out here building real history.
Who do you think's better out of those two, Crawford or Mayweather?
I think Crawford is better, bigger. Like he's actually he moved in weight class, and I would say Crawford is a better fight all around fighter. Mayweather's really good too, though. You can knock him as well. You know, he's very talented. It would have been a tough fight, but I think Crawford would have had the edge over Mayweather because of the long arms and because he's bigger. You know what I'm saying? And he would have kept him at bay. It would have been hard for Mayweather to counter, maybe. But Mayweather's definitely a technician. I mean, like Crawford said, you know, Mayweather has his era, and Crawford, this is his era.
He's not chasing paydays. He's chasing greatness. And that's what burns Floyd the most.
And I'm gonna get a lot of too, but honestly, there could be the way where you put Crawford over Mayweather. Because of going up, you didn't see Mayweather go up from 147 to 168. That's crazy, bro. And honestly, I thought Crawford was gonna have more of a hard time because he had a hard time with Madronov. So imagine going up to it. I mean, that's crazy. I mean, but I don't want to take nothing away from Mayweather. Mayweather is the greatest of all time. But I think that was a really big risk that Crawford took, and then he ended up winning. You know what I mean? So you have to give credit to that too. I mean, that's a big risk. That'd be like me going up and fighting Usyk right now, heavyweight.
I know that's been kind of hinted.
I'm not thinking of that right now. I'm not thinking of that right now. No, but that's kind of like how that'd be. You know what I mean? So you have to, bro. That's a lot of. He has a lot of balls to do that. And not only to go do that to show the world that he's really like that.
For years, critics said Floyd's career was defined by timing, waiting out opponents, picking the perfect fights, maximizing money while minimizing risk. And for the most part, they were right. He was a genius businessman, but that genius came with an asterisk. Meanwhile, Terence Crawford is doing the exact opposite. He's fighting dangerous opponents at their peaks. He's moving up weight classes. He's taking risks Floyd never took. And now he's calling Floyd out, not for clout, but for credibility.
Terence Crawford is the best fighter on the planet. Pound for pound, he's that dude. In this 4-belt era, he is now the undisputed world champion 3 times over. 140 pounds, 147, now 168 pounds. Claiming all the belts. You don't see people doing that very often. Going up against a guy who was perceived as being bigger and stronger, Crawford was strong. Crawford was strong enough to fend him off, strong enough to make him respect his own power. He used his jab, he used his distance. He had poise in the ring, he wasn't rattled. He backed up and moved when necessary and kept us different. He exchanged enough to gain respect when necessary. It was a brilliant, brilliant, masterful fight on Terence Crawford's part.
But here's where it gets even more interesting. Inside sources close to Mayweather, promotions revealed that Floyd feels disrespected. Not because of the comment itself, but because of who said it. Remember, Floyd discovered Gervonta Davis. He mentored him, molded him, and built his empire around loyalty. But Crawford, he never needed Floyd. He never trained under him, never signed to him, never bowed to his system. He became a superstar on his own terms, something very few fighters have ever done.
I beat this guy, it's an excuse, I beat this guy, you know, he's too young or whatever. So I'm never really gonna give my full respect until afterwards. Yes, you know, it's a lot of people that's changing their narrative, like, man, y'all watching something great right now and we not appreciating it. And it's sad to say that we waking up at the tail end of his career. You know, we really didn't realize it until now when he's like doing extraordinary stuff, like going up 2 weight classes to fight the best fighter in that division, the #1 guy that's the face of boxing, you know. And the way that I handled that, people like, oh man, something had to be wrong. Canelo had to be washed, or Canelo just wasn't in it. I see people saying, oh, Turkey paid for Canelo to lose, you know. So I just think, you know, when you that much better than the competition, you know, people are not going to give you credit until they sit down and look at it and just be like, man, that dude was good.
And that independence is exactly why Floyd feels threatened. One promoter told us, Floyd sees himself in Bud, but without the control. Crawford's doing what Floyd did, just without the politics. And that's the problem. Floyd doesn't like being compared to a successor. He likes being the one they can't replicate.
At the end of the day, I'll let you know, there's no fighter that will ever be better than me. There's no fighter that wasn't better than me before me or after me or when I'm long gone. I'm the best.
But Crawford's not trying to replicate him. He's rewriting the playbook.
Where does he rank now, all time? Ending this interview.
#1, and the only one that he got at top is Floyd. You know what I'm saying? Terence Crawford's this generation guy. You know what I'm saying? Accomplishing all the goals that he accomplished.
Matched up? How do they match up, Floyd and Terence?
Hey, I'm like this, man. It's going to be great because Floyd, he's about his work. He put in work. We've been watching it for decades. You know what I'm saying? Him coming out of retirement to do this fight. that's a win for the whole world boxing. Every generation from Floyd generation to this generation didn't get to see it come. That's just like we never get to see Michael Jordan play, right? But we remember when he used to play. Come on. So
now, let's talk about what makes this debate so divisive. Floyd Mayweather was the most untouchable fighter of his generation. The man barely lost rounds, let alone fights. His defensive genius turned punchers into amateurs. But Crawford, he's the exact opposite. He invites chaos, then dominates it. He doesn't need to outpoint you. He needs to break you down.
In the world of comparisons that we live in right now, if you can, compare and contrast the fight between yourself and Floyd Mayweather Jr. and tonight's bout with Terence "Bud" Crawford, if you can.
No, I think Crawford is way better than Floyd Mayweather.
When he fought Errol Spence, fans expected a war. Instead, they got a masterclass in controlled violence. Crawford dissected him piece by piece, dropped him 3 times, and finished him like a surgeon.
I didn't expect that the fight will be like that, but I thought it will finish 12 rounds. But Crawford he did a good job.
Is Crawford time for pound number one? Time for pound number one?
I think so. Pretty much, I don't think.
Did you feel like they need a rematch, Manny, after what you saw tonight?
I don't know if there's a rematch.
That's all we gotta go.
It's kind of a one-sided fight.
Does this fight make Terence Crawford an all-time great in your eyes?
Well, he's still in his career, so he's prime in his career, so we'll see the journey of his life.
That's the kind of performance Floyd never delivered against top-tier opponents. Sure, Floyd schooled Canelo, but that was a 2-3-year-old Canelo who hadn't hit his prime yet. Crawford beat peak Canelo, 2 divisions up. That's why so many modern boxing analysts are saying it out loud now. Terence Crawford might actually be better than Floyd Mayweather ever was. Even legends are picking sides. Roy Jones Jr. said, if you're talking skill for skill, Floyd was smoother. But if you're talking complete dominance, Crawford's doing something we've never seen.
Because when you mention great fighters, right? 90% of your great fighters are black, the ones from the past. Now, with the Eastern Bloc coming on like they are, there's going to be some great ones coming on now. Even with Lil Tony, as you see it, these guys are going to be great. They're going to start eclipsing and coming up there too. But right now, if you had to name 5 of the best fighters of all time, 4 of them are going to be black. You understand me? Who did he beat that was black in his prime, that was in their prime, that was on his level? Nobody.
And Max Kellerman broke it down perfectly. Floyd fought for control. Crawford fights for glory. That's the difference.
It's wild, because like if you look at Floyd's resume, it's much deeper than Crawford's. And Floyd was faster and he had a better defense and all that stuff. But Floyd picked and chose when he fought guys, especially once he left lightweight. He wiped out the junior lights, bring him. Lightweight, he jumps up to Jose Luis Castillo first thing. A lot of people think he lost the first fight, I didn't, but then he won the rematch. But once he left lightweight, he was careful about when he fought guys. So even though his resume is deeper with names, people remember, yeah, but he didn't want it with certain dudes at certain times. Crawford, we all witnessed, even though the resume is thin in certain ways, he wanted it with everyone the whole time.
Oh, yes.
That makes a difference to people.
Crawford did amazing, he a legend, man. 3-time undisputed. You got to take his hat up to him. He went up 2 weight classes and dominated a legend. So my hat goes up to him, and he's all respect.
Do you think Canelo is the same guy that he was before? You think he's completely falling off?
Canelo's Canelo, you know what I mean? Canelo's a legend, bro. You gotta, at the end of the day, whatever happened that fight, that don't diminish his career, his image. You feel me? I think right now, he's at that time where he took an L, but he ain't take an L, you know what I'm saying? He got paid and he a legend at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? So if he want to walk over in the sunset right now, his name, his last name is in the cement, you know what I'm saying? As one of the greatest Mexican fighters in the world.
I know it sounds a little bit crazy, but Crawford does have all the titles. You're a really big name. He's kind of in your way right now a little bit. Is that a fight where you're just like, yeah, me and him can get it on for sure?
Not for sure, definitely, you know what I'm saying? We don't duck no smoke. Right now, I'm focused on my comeback fight, you know what I'm saying? I gotta put my head down, whatever happened in my last fight is cool, but that ain't dim my light at all, you know what I'm saying? I'm still a superstar, I'm still a star, I'm still the king of New York, man, I'm fly, I look good, I fight good, man, so, I'm excited.
Meanwhile, Floyd's response has been pure defense. He keeps bringing up his record, 50-0. The money, the pay-per-view numbers, the business empire. But Crawford doesn't care about the numbers, he cares about legacy. And that's what makes this moment feel like a passing of the torch, even if Floyd refuses to hand it over. Let's be real, Mayweather's era was about perfection. Crawford's era is about evolution. Floyd never lost because he never took unnecessary risks. Crawford might lose one day, but it'll be because he risked everything.
And I beat him, but we both been out there, they say he's over the hill. But then when Pacquiao fights him, they say, oh, this is the greatest thing we ever seen. So then when I fight Hatton, they say I'm too big for Hatton, but then they say
No, nobody said that. You got full credit for both of those wins, Floyd. That's why you became a superstar.
No, I did not.
Yes,
no,
you
I
did.
did not. No,
sure
I did
you
not.
did. From
are
me,
you gonna let,
I
gonna
gave you full credit. If you're talking to me now, I gave you full credit for that.
Am I gonna speak my piece or not?
Go ahead.
Am I gonna speak my piece or not?
Go ahead.
Okay, because you want to interview me. I ain't interviewing you. You want to talk to me. I don't worry about talking.
Floyd,
you want to talk
go ahead.
to me.
I'm waiting on you.
So then when I fight Hatton, they said, oh, Mayweather is too big for Hatton. But then Marquez and Pacquiao can fight, it's no problem. But now, but I'm too big for Marquez. I'm too big for Marquez, but I'm not too big for Pacquiao. Which one is it?
Well,
no, which one is it?
Which one is it?
Which one is it?
It's that Pacquiao was 130 pounds and he keeps moving out and whacking guys who are much bigger. He gets full credit for.
That's the difference between an icon and a legend. And Floyd knows that. It's why he's suddenly popping up in interviews again, talking about these new guys chasing attention. It's why he's reminding everyone about his billions and business smarts. Because when the conversation shifts to greatness, Floyd doesn't like where it's heading. You can't fight Father Time, and you can't fight the future. So what happens next? There's already talk that Floyd might respond with a sit-down interview of his own. Sources close to his camp say he's planning to set the record straight, which usually means reminding everyone of his undefeated record and earnings. But here's the thing that's not going to stop the Crawford wave. Because no matter what Floyd says now, fans have already started rewriting the narrative. To them, Crawford isn't chasing Mayweather anymore, he's replacing him. The face of modern boxing used to be Floyd's smirk under bright lights. Now it's Crawford's cold stare under championship gold. And the craziest part? Floyd unintentionally helped make it happen. By being the standard for so long, he gave Crawford a blueprint to destroy. Still, respect has to be given. Floyd Mayweather changed boxing forever. He built an empire, he beat every name of his era, and he made more money than any fighter in history. But Terence Crawford is changing the definition of greatness. He's not undefeated, he's undisputed. 3 times over. He's not fighting for fame, he's fighting for forever. So when Floyd says, there are levels to this, maybe he's right. But maybe, just maybe, the levels have changed. Because what used to be the ceiling for greatness is now Crawford's floor.
We've had a lot of comparisons between Terence Crawford and Floyd Mayweather. We've even had the conversation to go as far as who would win in a fight between Terence and Floyd. And I truly don't know the answer to that question.
I do.
You do?
Yes.
Yeah. Who will win that fight?
Floyd.
Floyd will win that
Yes,
fight.
sir. I
Floyd
love you, Terence.
always figures it out.
Yeah, he's a chess
super-
master.
Yeah, his IQ in that
The
sense
funny
is
thing
crazy.
about it is Terence has been the only other guy that people can say he always figures it out. You know?
Yeah, that's true.
But you
Can't
gotta have
say
an
that
OG
about
somewhere.
anybody
though.
else.
There's an OG
Somebody
somewhere.
gotta
that
pioneer,
you can't
right?
out-figure
Yeah,
out.
yeah, you gotta.
There's
yeah.
an OG you can't out-figure out
Yeah,
somewhere.
yeah,
And I just
yeah.
believe Floyd is that OG you can't out-figure out.
Now the world's watching. Crawford's already said he's got a few fights left before retirement, possibly Jaron Boots Ennis, maybe a rematch with Canelo, or even a jump to 160 for one final belt.
As his trainer, do you feel like he should just sell off into the sunset after this monumental
Well,
win?
you know what? He made it look so easy. You know what I'm saying? Got 2-3 more in him. You know what I'm saying? Training camp will try harder. You know what I'm saying?
Do you think a move to 160 would make sense?
I mean, if you want to do it, you know, it'd be a challenge. If you want to challenge yourself, yeah, I don't mind.
Every move he makes from here on out adds weight to his case. Because make no mistake, this isn't just a debate anymore. It's a power shift. The king of the old era versus the king of the new. One protected his legacy, the other built his through chaos. One fought to retire rich, the other fights to retire are remembered.
Saw you before the fight, the Crawford-Canelo fight, and you had a Cavs hat on. This time you've got a GOAT hat on. Is that how you're feeling? I know it says Muhammad Ali, but is that how you're feeling about Bud's performance, about his whole career?
Yeah, I'm definitely feeling that way, man. GOAT. Greatest of all time, man. You got to give it to him. You got to give it to him. You got to give it to his coaches, not just me, Saul Red, Bernie, Chet, nutritionists. You know, everybody played a part.
Canelo said he's way better than Mayweather. What do you think to that?
Who, Terence?
Yeah.
Oh, of course. Of course he is.
And in the end, maybe that's what's eating Floyd alive, that the one man who might actually beat him in a fantasy fight doesn't need to prove it. He already did. So what do you think, fight fans? Was Floyd's response fair, or did Crawford just expose the truth that the throne has officially been passed? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more real talk. I'll catch you in the next video.